is my license. I worked hard for this. Like, I damn near lost everything for this piece of paper. It's not a piece of paper, but like it signifies so much. And I went through so much just to get it. And I had to wait years to get it on top of that. So, you know, I just want to go into depth on like what it means to me and like the stuff I went through, because maybe my story could help you, or it could give you some kind of boost to say, you know what, if he could do it, I could do it as well. So this is my barber's license, and we're gonna go in depth on like what it is and what it means to me. How y'all doing? It's Shirley Ivory Cuts, your favorite barber, the most. Remember times where she would see me post haircuts online and say, hey, we gonna go to school, we gonna get a license, and you know, that was like near and dear to me. Like I had to like do it because she was getting on me about it.
I want him to know that he did a very good thing. That's the second job that he can have besides Metro. And that will keep money in his pocket at all times. If it's rain, if the sun is shining, if it rains, he still can make that extra money on the side.
I used to work for myself, so I'm not against that, not working 9 to 5. I'm not that type of dude that's gonna say fuck a job, because man, you could use a job for leverage. Like, you don't want to be in a barbershop like how I was 8 years ago, having to eat M&Ms and drink water because you can't feed yourself, you can't eat because you're waiting on a walk-in, but you might be in a situation where you in a shop full of sharks. They taking all the walk-ins, you just praying that none of them boys show up to work so you could actually make some money. So nah man, get you a job, use your job to fund your barber career. And I would say, man, start when you about 17, 18, when your parents ain't trying to really kick you out the crib. So use that time. I put my all into it, and I made so many sacrifices just to hold this, you know? I have some barbers that might say, hey man, you know, go back and get no. I just want to be able to cut in the barbershop and don't have to worry about state, you know? So I'm gonna tell y'all more about my story and how I was able to achieve this barber's license. I've tried many times to actually go to barber school, but I was always faced with some kind of roadblock. So one day I had enough, and I just told myself, you know, I'm actually gonna go to barber school on my own terms. From 4:30 to 12, I was driving the bus. From 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I was cutting hair at Origins in Wynwood. And from 5:30 to 6 to 9 p.m., I was going to barber school Monday through Thursday. And it just was a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. And it got so hectic to the point where, you know, some days I was not waking up in time to go to school, go to work, to operate the bus, and you know, I almost ended up losing my job behind chasing this dream. And you know, it's all for good reasons. So I was told I was doing the right thing, but the wrong thing at the same time. I had bosses, you know, talking to me crazy, cussing me out, calling me out my name, and you know, it was real hard. So it was moments where I sat in my car and I asked myself, like, man, is this really something I'm supposed to be doing? Because I'm going through so many hardships, but I feel like all of that was just a test. And you know, to this day, like, I can honestly say, like, I'm happy all of that happened because I went against the grain and actually took the time and pushed through and actually finished school and got my license. And what's so crazy is I was able to actually get my barber's license around the time where my business was starting to pick up, and I was starting to cut hair every day at various times a day. And that's something I wanted to put into it, because most barbers don't actually get their license, because by the time they have that gap of freedom where they're not really worried about finances and everything is like, it's too late, where they're stuck in the shop, and if they leave the shop and go to school, miss out on peak hours in the shop and miss out on clientele, and that's bad. So oftentimes, you know, you just ride the wave and don't actually go to school and get your license. So I just picked this time. I just said, hey, I'm gonna make the sacrifice. I'll make all that money later. I'll just dedicate my time to actually going to school and just, taking whatever is given to me. So to get the restricted barber's license, what I have is 600 hours. And also to get the master barber's license is 1,200 hours. So I got to a point where it's like, man, I'm over the 600 hours, but I'm cutting a whole bunch of hair now. So then I just said, I'm gonna just pause, and I guess I'll return back to school whenever I have time and get the master's barber's license. My darkest time was when I was going to school and my car stopped working, and by God's grace, my grandmother gave me her Nissan Sentra, and I was just riding a Nissan Sentra, like I'm driving to school in a small Nissan Sentra, roaches crawling on me, I'm patting. I'm like, it was crazy. That took me a long way. My grandma said, use that car until the wheels fall off, and I did that. But the wheels never fell off. She called me one day and said, hey, I want you to come by the house. Came by the house. My grandmother gave me a new car. And it was a car I always wanted since I was in high school. So I could say that was one of my darkest times, where I was like, man, how am I gonna get to work and how am I gonna get to school if my car is tripping? And lo and behold, my grandmother, she looked out, and she really, she blessed me, and that's why I don't mind, breaking my back for my grandma, man. So it's just she was really a help in my journey. Cause I just remember times where she would see me post haircuts online and say, hey, we gonna go to school, we gonna get a license, and that was near and dear to me. I had to do it because she was getting on me about it. So I realized I wanted to be a barber when I was about 18 years old. I was spending the summer with my mom, and we stayed on 116th and 7th Ave, this yellow and green house in the corner. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, hey, I'm gonna be a barber. And just me looking in the mirror, not even knowing what I was doing, I was manifesting this life. And I went from cutting my Uncle Kevin hair to my neighbor hair, then it bounced from them two to 3 people. 3 turned to 12, 12 turned into 50, 50 turned to 100 people. And now it's I get different clientele and everything on a regular basis. Oh yeah, when I was at Magic City Barbershop, so what ended up happening was, because I didn't have my license, I had to sit next to this really big dude named Pat. And how the setup was that Pat and Scorpio used to take all the walk-ins, so I'd just be damn, man. So I'm thinking about them taking the walk-ins. I'm thinking about how my parents, if you don't get you a job, you can't stay here no more. All right, another quick vlog. I'm here at the shop, I'm waiting on Lamar because we gotta go get a couch. But there's another quick vlog. That shit coming. I'm finna be, man, hey, it's coming, dog. But it's all good, man, because at the end of the day, I'm still able to do what I love to do, and I'm still able to show up to work every day with a passion and not quit, man. If you ain't mentally built for this shit, bro, don't do it, you feel me? And that comes with anything with life. If you're not mentally prepared for that shit, you don't have goals that you want, don't do that shit, bro. Just go ahead, put your application in at a fucking job or some shit. Cause bro, this shit, man, this shit is real, bro. Like my grandma said, man, society is kicking my ass. It is. And it's I'm just learning, cause I used to sit on my ass all day, and now I move around. I'm always moving, I'm always walking, all type of shit, bro. Yeah, bro, this shit getting better, man. Real talk, bro. Listen, man, this shit, man. You niggas is in trouble, for real. You niggas is in trouble. I'm finna have my own barbershop. I'm finna have my own place to stay. I don't be dealing with the bullshit I'm dealing with today at this present moment. And I like it. How you get a fresh cut? Oh yeah, I cut my own hair. Yeah, bro. Hey, listen, man. We going up, baby. We are going up. Like, we going up, baby. Yes, sir. And then I'm also thinking about how, like, I need to eat. So what I used to do is I used to rack up on change and put change in the cup. And I used to eat the M&Ms in the shop and drink water. And I used to carry me over through the day, and I used to wait for like a cut. And you know, my Uncle Black, he had it set up where all I gotta do is pay him $25 a day pretty much. And you know, I ended up making that $25 a day, then it just rolled over to me cutting everybody else's clientele. It was this one guy, you're told not to do this, not to cut people's hair how they want it to be cut. So it was this guy, he came in, he worked construction, he had hair like mine, but it was like way more spiky and short. So I had to bald it all the way up here, all the way around, and he just looked fried. And he used to always hit me up because he used to make music, and it went from cutting his hair to cutting Stavo hair to cutting Bill hair. And them boys used to just have me in the studio. They'll make music, I'll be in the studio cutting hair, I'll promote their music. And then like, I can honestly say like, them dudes right there, like, they really like helped me out. Cause I remember one time Bill hit me, I think it was around the pandemic. And that man said, come to the Airbnb. Man, a bunch of dudes in there needed haircuts, man. I ran it up. And that's why like, people like him, I never mind to like give them a free haircut or something, cause like them boys put me in place. Like, bro, I just tell certain people like, bro, just hit me, I'm gonna take care of you, it don't matter. So yeah. So I knew so on the streets I learned how to cut hair, like how to only cut like a particular demographic of hair, but in school I really learned how to cut straight hair, and also learned about sanitation. I didn't know the importance of having a barbicide jar. I didn't know the importance of having Band-Aids and alcohol that's like close to you in the station. I didn't know the importance of cutting hair with gloves on, because that's not something that was practiced in front of me. So I just, you know, cut and went with that. And I really didn't know the importance of oftentimes changing your blades every 3 months, and, you know, important stuff like that, because stuff like that accumulates germs and it could be bad for business. You could also start like viruses like that on clients. So I really learned sanitation to a key. The advantages of having a barber's license is actually being able to build your business the correct way, being able to actually walk into a bank and ask them, you know, for particular loans and things, funding for your business. You know, it saves you for when state come in, whenever they do that biannual check to see if you have a license, and you won't charge the barbershop a fee for, you know, gross malpractice. I learned that there's certain people that wanted to make certain moves within the industry, but what stopped them from actually making those moves is because they didn't have a license. And that's what big corporate businesses look for, like Netflix and Nickelodeon and, you know, BET. Like, you'll have the skills, but, you know, at the same time, you need your barber's license. Yeah, like, it's just, I missed out on a lot of good opportunities not having my barber's license. So I just learned from that. So that's why I'm trying to share this with you guys, and I name drop and everything like that, because you can actually go to these people and ask them. And yeah, I have text message proof and everything. So that's why I'm so big on actually having a license. Like, yeah, you might have a barber shop owner that tells you like you cut in my barber shop, but what hinders you is not having your license. Like, because you don't have your license, you're only bound to that shop. And who knows, he might have a deal with state. I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to incriminate nobody, but when I first went to Urgent Cuts, you know, what got me actually in the door was the fact that I had over 600 hours from school. And, you know, Nixon told me like, hey man, if you want to take this serious, you need to go take your test. yeah, you know, I had things that popped up, you know, mishaps with work, family, all this, and I finally, you know, took advantage of my time and submitted my applications to my Florida license, and, you know, scheduled my test and took my test. And now the sky's the limit at this point, so I'm super excited. It's very important to have your license because you might end up being a barber that wants to have a barbershop. Now, I've been in barbershops where nobody has a license, but there's a license on the wall. So it's good to have a license because you're able to open up your own establishment. Like, that's the legal way of doing things versus not being able to actually do it. So if you want to think big in this industry, you can open up a license. Or if you want to just, I'm not even going to tell you to like hustle backwards and just use somebody's name or something like that. But nah, man, I just really feel like it's really important to have your license so you can like move how you want to move and not have limitations on yourself. You gotta suck it up and get you a job. Use your job to pay for your school. And how I set it up was that one paycheck goes towards all my bills, and then I have another paycheck that's a freedom paycheck. So I will always use my freedom paycheck to pay for my tuition at school. And at Turner Tech, the tuition it ranges around like $600 to $720. And I used that, and it was sometimes where I would get so caught up on my bills that I would have to wait a couple months to go back to school. I won't make it seem like I've ran through school. Nah, things happen, and I had to make sacrifices, and I had to step away from school for a little bit and get back to it when I got my finances right. But yeah, like I would say, get a 9 to 5. Work that 9 to 5 till you know, organize your steps so you can grab your stuff. And yeah, like just recently I could talk shit because I told him the same thing. Just recently, I checked out one of the barbers I looked up to. I'm not gonna name drop. He know I love him. I could talk shit about him because I said it to his face, and he told me, you know, I'm still weaning on that check from the county, and the thing is, I'm not doing that. I don't have parents that's gonna pay for everything I got going on. I gotta hold my own balls and nuts and, you know, make shit happen. So I'm gonna use my job to secure things that I want. And whenever I have the time, the advantage to put things in place, like I explained to him, that's when I'm gonna say, okay, cool, like I don't have to work no more. I don't have to work for a company. I can just work for myself. So I just started, I'm like about I wanna say a good 7-8 months into the barbershop that I'm in now. I wanna give myself at least 2 years before I open up another one, cause like right now I'm in a situation where I'm learning so much about the barber game from Nixon and Brian. So I wanna take advantage of them dudes and just like really get up under them and like grasp as much as I can and just learn how to run a barbershop. So they're my examples right now. I'm following them. I study them dudes every day. I just don't know where they stay at yet, but I study them every day, and you know, I'm gonna figure them out. I still love him. He ain't no hate. I still love him though. I'm gonna shout out Pat, man, for like really making it hard for me, man. Like I just remember it'll be days where he'll have a bad day, so that means shit, I'm finna have a bad day. Like he'll come in the shop, he'll be like, I'm gonna show you how to cut hair. But then after he done giving me a tutorial, he'll give me a bunch of money and tell me, you know, go run to Aventure Mall and buy me a particular jacket, a particular color, a particular size. And if I come back and it ain't the size, I gotta run my ass back to the mall, or, you know, get him cigarettes every day, or like, you know, stuff like that. So someone that I really appreciate the most is my Uncle Black, Lamar Simpkins. He was one guy who told me that, you know, hey nephew, I want you to drive the bus, and I want you to cut hair as well. Then when I used to leave Magic City, I used to catch the 17, and Mr. Bennett used to get on, I used to catch Mr. Bennett bus, and Mr. Bennett used to pick me up and say, hey man, I know you want to be a barber and cut hair, but at the same time, you know, you need to get you a good job. So guys like that. And then another guy, he's not a guy, he's my father, I love him to death. He sat me down and told me, son, it's dudes that cut hair, and then there's barbers. Look at all the dudes that's cutting hair, and then look at all the barbers, you know? So the dudes that cut hair are the ones who don't have a license, and the guys who are barbers are actually the ones who have the license. And he had me sit down and compare and contrast and, you know, look at their life. And that's where that whole thing of me studying people came from. You know, they may have done some stuff on the side where, like, you know, they did whatever they did to like come up, but he told me use create my own blueprint. So I use my job to fund my business and fund my lifestyle. So if you at a school where it's like, what can I say? If you're at a barber school where you're not really cutting hair like that, have your homies pull up to the school and just go from there. So cut your homies' hair and you know, build from there. You know, practice on the mannequins. Those are good practice. The mannequins, really study the bookwork. I wouldn't say skip the step of like not going to barber school. If there's something you really want to do, I do advise you to go to barber school. Like that's something you should do. Like hands down, like do that, complete it, and just go from there. Be a great person. Accept people for who they are. Respect people, be respectful. Hold the door for women. You know, follow your dreams, man, and do it the right way. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Man, if you're in arm's reach or you could call somebody that's doing what you want to do, call them. It don't mean you dick riding, it just mean, bro, like you trying to get to where they at or you trying to do better than them. You know, be a student. I'm always a student. I learn from dudes younger than me. Yeah, shout out to my boy Ant. We was doing the segment about the school. I learned so much from him, and we just cool. Like I can just DM Ant, and he just be doing some wild shit. But yeah, man, like just really do the damn thing, man, and love it. Never fall out of love with it. Just you gonna have your hard days. Hell, I had days I cried in my Ranger, and now I have days where sometimes I'm cutting so much my stomach hurting.
Too busy to go get some food.
Too busy to get food. Too busy to get food, man. People coming back to back to back. Yo, where you at? Where you at? Da da da. Like back to back. You gonna get there. I promise you. You gonna get there. Just keep showing up and remain present. So, yeah, that's it.
I was so glad to see him, knowing he was struggling so hard to get to his point. But I had the torch. And he got the torch from me and run with it. And he made it. And I thank God for it, that he passed his test and he can get on the road toward what he wants to do in the future. When I was in barber class, I enjoyed it. I love it. I like working with people, making them look good. I finished the barber class, but the one thing I didn't pass, but I noticed that Ellis went all the way through with it. The reason why I stopped barbering is because my husband said that he did not want me around men. So I accept, and he said you didn't have to go through that, so I accept his thoughts. And I love him for that. I said, thank God he made it, because that's one thing he wanted to do, to become a barber. And I told him, do it the right way. Pass the test and you'll be on your own. You don't have nobody looking over your shoulder or behind your back. So he don't have to go through that anymore. I would like for him to have his own business. And when I see him cutting the hair, if I see something wrong, I will text him and tell him, try it another way. But he's good. And that is exactly what he did. And I am so proud of him thinking to put my name there for him. I appreciate that very much, for him thinking about me, his grandma. I didn't finish the task, but he did.
My name is Ellis, and this is gonna be my haircut tutorial, my self-cut tutorial, like the way I cut my hair on my own.